Now at 9, the Pitt State women's basketball team tries to move a step closer to an NCAA championship. John Dales has the latest on tonight's Final Four game. Plus, firefighters in Pittsburgh rescue a woman from a burning house. And
work continues here in downtown Lamar as crews try to improve the city's water lines. I'm Anthony Saviello. I'll have more on that coming up.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Pittsburgh firefighters today rescued a woman from a burning home. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Dow Quick. Firefighters responded to a report of a woman trapped in a burning house at 605 North Georgia. City says they immediately attacked that fire, found the woman despite heavy smoke, and got her out. Pittsburgh Fire Chief says the woman had some injuries and they transferred her to the care of Crawford County EMS. A medical helicopter took her from Pittsburgh's Mercy Hospital to another location. We still don't have any further word on her condition. The fire department says no one else was in the home. The state fire marshal's office will help with the investigation of that fire. An Neodesha, Kansas man enters a plea on a reduced charge as part of a plea agreement in the death of a Coffeyville, Kansas man. Ryan McCullough was originally charged with second-degree murder for the death of David Wintgen. According to court documents, Wintgen died after an altercation with McCullough in May of last year. Now McCullough has pleaded no contest to a charge of aggravated battery in the case, and authorities have dismissed the murder charge. Sentencing is scheduled for May. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy now for our first look at the weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice Wednesday for us today. Temperatures fantastic. We went into lower 70s. 72 was our high. Started at 42. 63 is our average high for this time of the year. But we warm up even more as we go into Thursday. Highs near 80 degrees. We could see a couple random showers, especially as we go through the morning hours. But then the winds increase as well. It's not going to be the winds that we've seen over the past few weeks, but it's still going to be pretty windy really over the next several days. Storm chances will start to increase Saturday night and into Sunday, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that. Also, the winds kind of picking up, so we're talking gusts kind of 25, 30, maybe 35 at times as we go through the next few days. Pretty much clear skies, not too much going on for us tonight, but again, some rain chances. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
Yes, soon, Doug. A Missouri town is working to improve its infrastructure by replacing many of the city's water lines. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has more on what they're doing and how this project will impact the community.
Crews here in downtown Lamar have been hard at work trying to replace the city's water mains. It's a job that the city says needed to happen.
So this has been on the city's engineering studies and priority list for quite some time. We have quite a few cast iron lines in the ground that still have to come out also, but we knew that this was a great opportunity for us to use some of this funding to replace some of this major infrastructure for us.
The water line project coincides with another project meant to help enhance the city's quality of water.
We, as a city of Lamar, applied for two grants, one for wastewater and one for drinking water. We were awarded the grant for the drinking water, which is what you're currently seeing. Along with the water line replacement project that we have going on along the square, we also have the water well that's being drilled and plumbed into one of our water towers just to have a redundant water supply for the city.
It's been a project several years in the making, and after delays or cancellations to other projects the city had in mind.
COVID in that 2020 era, a lot of projects got slowed down, they got halted or just completely written off. For both supply reasons and contractor reasons, you just couldn't get the work done.
This one can soon be checked off the list.
We're extremely excited to get the water projects up and going and to get those projects completed.
Now, as this project continues, the city says residents could expect a temporary interruption in their water service as crews try to connect the new main water lines to residential homes. In Lamar, Missouri, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Rhymes says the project is contracted out until this fall. He says the city is confident the downtown portion will be completed by August. Joplin will soon have a new mural to decorate that city. Renowned Carthage artist Andy Thomas designed the work of art, which is going up in Joplin's Route 66 mural park right in the heart of downtown. The donor-funded project titled Route 66 Tri-State Corridor will be unveiled on April 4th, which is next Friday. Pittsburgh USD 250 School Board met this evening, but only in executive session, not open to the public. Earlier today, the district sent a message to parents acknowledging that the district was aware of multiple social media posts circulating about district employees. In that message, the district pointed out that in compliance with federal and state employment laws, the district may not publicly share information regarding employees, disciplinary actions, or personnel issues. Stapleton Elementary in Joplin opened a brand new chapter of a shared reading event. Every Stapleton student received a copy of the book Finway and Hattie by Victoria J. Brooks to be read together at home for the next few weeks. Staff at the school see the event as a great way to show how fun reading can be.
Reading is fun, and we have tried to do everything we can to promote that through our book, through our revealing in the assembly. We transformed our entire school with the theme and objects from the book, so they walked in school today completely surprised, and they're waiting anxiously to find out what's going on, why did our teachers do this, and that we're going to do this together, and we're a community, our families, to our students, to our staff.
The school says it plans to celebrate the completion of the book with a Stapleton Reads Night on Thursday, April 17th. Like a lot of libraries, the Pittsburgh Public Library is about a lot more than just books these days. This afternoon, it hosted a craft program for kids in 1st through 4th grades. Participants could decorate their own blank journals. The library provided a variety of supplies, including stickers, markers, and embellishments, so every child could create a unique and personalized design.
We've done an iCraft for adults for over 11 years, and it's been really popular. So this year we started an iCraft Junior, which is kind of the same idea. We just make it a little simpler for kids. Everything is in-house. We use a lot of recycled materials. We use things again.
A lot of public libraries offer interactive experiences for kids and adults. You could check with your local library to learn about what you might be missing. Coming up, trying to get to the bottom of an information leak.
Lawmakers call for an investigation after a journalist mistakenly received sensitive attack plans. I'm Connor Hansen in New York with a look at how the White House is responding, coming up.
But up first, researchers turn up some possibly surprising results from a study on kids and smartphone use. Another case of the measles is reported in D.C. as health officials try to prevent a recent influx of new cases from turning into a nationwide outbreak. Fox News senior correspondent Steve Harrigan reports.
Health officials in D.C. confirming a new case of measles. The person was confirmed to have traveled by Amtrak, passed through Union Station, and visited an urgent care clinic. That is alarming because of how quickly the virus can spread.
If you're in a room, 100 people, at least 90 of those people are going to catch measles if someone infected walks through. It is super contagious.
Nearly 400 cases have been confirmed in 18 states so far this year, as well as at least one death. The virus typically manifests in a severe rash, but can develop into more serious and potentially fatal complications. Doctors are urging people to get vaccinated to stay safe.
The measles vaccine is incredibly effective. Just one shot protects you with a vaccine effectiveness of 93%. 2 shots gets you up to 97%.
Health experts point to global health funding cuts as a cause for concern as the virus surges overseas. Many measles cases in the U.S. come from travelers returning home from abroad. Critics are also calling on Health Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. to be a stronger advocate for vaccines.
The CDC in the past has not done a good job at quantifying the risks of vaccines. The best thing that Americans can do is to keep themselves healthy. It's very, very difficult. It's for measles to kill a healthy person.
The CDC says a booster can help, but anyone who's received 2 doses of the vaccine is protected. In Atlanta, Steve Harrigan, Fox News.
Researchers say they've made progress in a universal vaccine that protects against multiple strains of COVID. Currently, the COVID vaccine needs to be updated often because the virus keeps mutating. But research presented by the American Chemical Society found using new techniques, they could potentially make a vaccine that helps the body create antibodies for multiple COVID strains, as well as the flu and even the common cold. A health benefit for pregnant women from an unusual source, chili. A study by the University of Buffalo found pregnant women who ate chili once a month had a 4% lower chance of developing gestational diabetes, which can affect both the mother and the baby. This might be because both beans and chili powder are linked to improved blood sugar levels. And a new study on smartphone use by children showed some surprising results. The findings by the University of South Florida found kids ages 11 to 13 who have their own smartphones were less likely to report depression or anxiety, and they spent more time in person with friends. But the study also found social media use by kids can be harmful to their mental health. Doug is up next with a complete look at the forecast, and later some people in southwest Missouri have run into some public transportation troubles. Coming up, we're going to take a closer look at the funding issues impacting Oats Transit.
Well, it turned out to be a really nice day for us today. Really, all week long, it's been pretty nice. A fairly comfortable night for us tonight. Temperatures are going to be sliding back. Here's our overnight planner. It's about 61 by 11 p.m. I do think late tonight we'll drop into the mid-50s near 55 and then rebound to about 60 by 7 a.m. Back to 68 by 10 a.m. as we start to warm up even more as we go into Thursday and Friday. Let's go outside. Look at our winds for us Thursday afternoon. Not as strong as what we have seen, but still gusts kind of 27-ish to about 33-ish, maybe a little bit higher in spots. It stays breezy once again as we go into Thursday night, into Friday morning. Even Friday, we're going to have gusts right around 30, maybe 35 at times, and really kind of sticking around on Saturday as well. Clear skies, not a whole bunch going on here. We have some disorganized little waves kind of rotating around us. Look at this bigger storm system. This will affect us as we head into the weekend. It's not going to be a very strong storm system when it makes it here, but strong enough it could give us some showers and thunderstorms. Upper 50s to start. As we go through the morning hours, a few little clouds, hit and miss shower, maybe a random little thunder shower. Most of you will stay dry. By noon, mid 70s. I think with enough clearing, most of us should warm 80, 81, 82 degrees for afternoon highs, maybe an 83 once you get into our western counties. We don't drop off too much more. Once again, on Thursday night, kind of upper 50s to near 60 for overnight lows. As we go into Friday afternoon, we do get a lot of clouds in here, and we could get a random shower this time south of I-44 late in the day. Again, most of you will stay dry, but with the cloud cover, it should keep our temps down just a little bit. So I think highs near 70, but near 80 on Thursday. 60 to start, 74 by noon. High temp, 81 during the afternoon. And we're still watching for stronger storms, maybe a few low-grade severe storms as we go into the weekend. We're kind of on the cusp of it. If they can develop a little bit earlier, this yellow, meaning risk for strong severe thunderstorms, may jet a little bit farther toward the west. So let's watch it over the next day or two and see how it kind of unfolds. But this is caused by this system that is out there in the Pacific Northwest. But by the time it gets out here and pushes some energy, it's just kind of a weak upper level wave. So that's why I'm not overly convinced that it's going to produce really strong to severe thunderstorms. But yes, the potential is there if everything can come together. I think Saturday overall looks good. High temps near 80. And then we're going to watch, so here's after midnight, if a few thunderstorms can come together. If they can, the main threat would be hail as we go into Sunday morning, and then the cooler air will start to work in behind it late Sunday and Monday. 81 on your Thursday. Let's go 70 on Friday. 80 on Saturday, and then cooling down Sunday and Monday. Monday only a high of 56 degrees, but then we warm right back up by the middle of next week. Dow?
Doug, thanks. Coming up, deal or no deal?
The U.S. brokered a deal between Ukraine and Russia to stop the fighting in the Black Sea, but both sides are skeptical that this deal will work. In London, I'm Alex Hogan. I'll have more on this story coming up.
Help the McCune Fire Department.
Hummingbirds are making their way back to the area. Conservationists report the states to the south have seen the birds on the move as they migrate back from their winter home.
Currently, the hummingbirds are coming up from Mexico and Panama, which is where they overwinter. It's nice and warm down there for them in the wintertime. And then gradually throughout the spring, they're going to work their way further and further north.
The most common type of hummingbird found in this area is the ruby-throated hummingbird. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Coming up, questions mount over a leaked military group chat as President Trump and top officials defended their actions. And Russia and Ukraine agreed to a Black Sea truce, but will it hold?
You're watching the 4 States Most Watched News. You're watching the 4 States Most
Democrats
Watched
want
News.
national security officials to resign and an investigation into their use of signal to discuss plans for a strike in Yemen. President Trump and other key leaders took tough questions today. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has more.
I think it's a witch hunt. I wasn't involved with it. I wasn't there.
Taking questions in the Oval Office, President Trump tried to shift the focus to what he calls a successful strike on the Houthis. But questions are mounting over how a journalist was added to a group chat where top officials discussed planning details. Secretary of State Marco Rubio broke his silence on the leak.
I think the Pentagon's made it clear that nothing on there would have endangered the lives or the mission, and the mission's been very successful.
Administration officials are sticking to their stance that nothing classified was shared in the chat. Atlantic editor Jeffrey Goldberg released more messages, including one from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth laying out specific timing, weapons, and targets.
Team update is to provide updates in real time. General updates in real time, keep everybody informed. That's what I did.
Democrats disagree, saying the leak could have put troops at risk, and some are demanding an investigation into how the mistake was made.
Leader Jeffries also sent a letter to the president yesterday calling for Pete Hegseth to be fired immediately.
I agree he should be fired.
President Trump suggested the Signal app could be a defective platform. The company put out a statement defending itself, claiming to be the, quote, gold standard for private, secure communications. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
1 year after the collapse of Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge, Marylanders gathered to honor the lives lost in that tragedy. Officials say the disaster caused by a container ship crash raised urgent questions about the state of the nation's infrastructure. The NTSB identified 68 bridges across 19 states that might be at risk and is urging immediate safety assessments. Leaders stress the need for action to prevent future disasters. A new Key Bridge is planned for completion by 2028. Delegations from Russia and Ukraine agreed to a ceasefire in the Black Sea following talks with Trump administration officials in Saudi Arabia. There is skepticism, however, about the scope of the deal and whether it'll hold. Fox News correspondent Alex Hogan has the latest.
Russia and Ukraine are both skeptical whether a Black Sea ceasefire brokered by the U.S. will hold and want Washington to enforce the deal.
I think both of them want to tap out to a degree. They're just kind of looking to the referee, and that's going to be President Trump.
Ukraine claims Russia launched heavy attacks on the Black Sea ports of Mykolaiv overnight, as well as on cities across Ukraine, hours after the countries agreed to the Black Sea truce and a ban on hitting energy infrastructure. Today, Ukraine says Russia hit at least 8 energy facilities since March 18th, when Russia first said it would halt those attacks. Russia accused Ukraine of launching drones over the Black Sea overnight. Moscow, however, argues yesterday's ceasefire won't start until sanctions are lifted, citing restrictions on ships, companies producing and exporting food, and a key agricultural bank.
So we're going to evaluate that. Some of those conditions include sanctions that are not ours. They belong to the European Union.
The Kremlin says it will never approve the proposal of sending European troops to monitor both sides, although it added the recent negotiations are heading in the right direction.
This is a good step forward thanks to the constructive relations that have developed during our contacts with the American side.
Still, President Donald Trump in an interview said that officials in Moscow could be dragging their feet. Today, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met with French President Emmanuel Macron in Paris. Tomorrow, France will host leaders and delegates from roughly 30 countries for a so-called coalition of the willing to brainstorm long-term security guarantees. In response to Russia's demand that sanctions be lifted, the European Union says in order for that, Russia would need to withdraw its forces from Ukraine. In London, Alex Hogan, Fox News.
Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast. And coming up, Goodman Police push for drone technology, how it could help keep the community safe.
It's the Center for the Arts.
Well, it turned out to be a really nice day for us today. Really, all week long, it's been pretty nice. A fairly comfortable night for us tonight. Temperatures are going to be sliding back. Here's our overnight planner. It's about 61 by 11 p.m. I do think late tonight we'll drop into the mid-50s near 55 and then rebound to about 60 by 7 a.m. Back to 68 by 10 a.m. as we start to warm up even more as we go into Thursday and Friday. Let's go outside. Look at our winds for us Thursday afternoon. Not as strong as what we have seen, but still gusts kind of 27-ish to about 33-ish, maybe a little bit higher in spots. It stays breezy once again as we go into Thursday night, into Friday morning. Even Friday, we're going to have gusts right around 30, maybe 35 at times, and really kind of stick around on Saturday as well. Clear skies, not a whole bunch going on here. We have some disorganized little waves kind of rotating around us. Look at this bigger storm system. This will affect us as we head into the weekend. It's not going to be a very strong storm system when it makes it here, but strong enough it could give us some showers and thunderstorms. Upper 50s to start. As we go through the morning hours, a few little clouds, hit and miss shower, maybe a random little thunder shower. Most of you will stay dry. By noon, mid 70s. I think with enough clearing, most of us should warm 80, 81, 82 degrees for afternoon highs, maybe an 83 once you get into our western counties. We don't drop off too much more. Once again, on Thursday night, kind of upper 50s to near 60 for overnight lows. As we go into Friday afternoon, we do get a lot of clouds in here, and we could get a random shower this time south of I-44 late in the day. Again, most of you will stay dry, but with the cloud cover, it should keep our temps down just a little bit. So I think highs near 70, but near 80 on Thursday. 60 to start, 74 by noon. High temp, 81 during the afternoon. And we're still watching for stronger storms, maybe a few low-grade severe storms as we go into the weekend. We're kind of on the cusp of it. If they can develop a little bit earlier, this yellow, meaning risk for strong severe thunderstorms, may jet a little bit farther toward the west. So let's watch it over the next day or two and see how it kind of unfolds. But this is caused by the system that is out there in the Pacific Northwest. But by the time it gets out here and pushes some energy, it's just kind of a weak upper level wave. So that's why I'm not overly convinced that it's going to produce really strong to severe thunderstorms. But yes, the potential is there if everything can come together. I think Saturday overall looks good. High temps near 80. And then we're going to watch, so here's after midnight, if a few thunderstorms can come together. If they can, the main threat would be hail as we go into Sunday morning, and then the cooler air will start to work in behind it late Sunday and Monday. 81 on your Thursday. Let's go 70 on Friday. 80 on Saturday, and then cooling down Sunday and Monday. Monday only a high of 56 degrees, but then we warm right back up by the middle of next week. Dow?
Doug, thanks. Coming up, Pittsburgh State women's basketball one win away from earning a spot in the national championship. John Dales has the highlights from the Gorillas' Final Four battle with Grand Valley State. That's up next in sports.
Get your tickets for
For the first time in program history, Pittsburgh State women's basketball plays in a Final Four game. That's this evening in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Winner moves on to the national championship on Friday night. Here we go. Pitt State against Grand Valley State. Winner will play for a national title. Gorillas start slow offensively, but here, Grace Pyle hits the pull-up three. PSU down 7 after the first. Pitt chipping away in the second. Harper Schreiner finds Savannah Campbell for 2. Then Pyle to Hannah Nilgis. Her 3 ball goes in for her first point. Grand Valley leads by 11 at halftime. In the third, here come the Gorillas. First, Pyle finds Sydney Holmes open in the corner, and she drains a 3-pointer. Next time down the floor, Pyle steps back from beyond the arc and connects. The lead is down to 7. A little bit later, Harper Schreiner runs down the loose ball, and she's going to finish off the fast break on her own. That caps a 12-2 run. It narrows the deficit down to 3. PSU keeps on coming. Here's Pyle. She gets fouled, and the shot drops. She'd tie it at the line. A couple of minutes later, the Gorillas would take their first lead of the game. Now to the final moments of the third quarter. Hannah Nilgis open for 3. And she hits. We go to the fourth, tied at 46. Gorillas down 5 with 3 minutes left now. Here's Pyle again from beyond the arc. They simply refuse to go away, but Grand Valley State just makes a couple more plays down the stretch. And just like that, the Gorillas' historic season comes to an end in the Final Four, 1 win short of the national championship appearance. Pitt State falls to Grand Valley State 68-61. And this afternoon in Joplin, Missouri Southern and Pittsburgh State baseball renew their rivalry on Warren Turner Field this afternoon. Gorillas versus Lions. We start in the third, scoreless. Drew Bugner ropes a ball down the left field line. That's going to fall in, and he's going to have a stand-up double. Next batter is Hayden Dyer. Puts a nice swing on this ball, and that's going to land in for a single. Bugner coming home. He beats the throw, slides in safely. Gorillas lead 1-0. Bottom of the inning, Lions threatening. Nate Miskowski tries to steal second, but Nixon Brannon fires a bullet down to second. Nice tag by Ricky Sanchez. Lions still scoreless. In the fourth, Sanchez at the plate. He skies this one deep to left. Tragan Parker is there to make the catch on the warning track. Drew Townsend now up to bat, and he hits this one very well to deep left field. This one's going to get out of here. It's gone. Lions tie it up at 1, but Brady Pasha remains composed. He strikes out Jake Leaker right after the homer. He finishes the day allowing 2 runs through 5 innings, and Gorillas win it 8-4. Over in Altamont, one of our local high school athletes signs a letter of intent this afternoon to play her sport at the college level right here in the 4 states. Labette County High School senior Taylin Harlow signs her letter of intent today to play volleyball at Independence Community College. The future Pirate didn't start playing volleyball until her freshman year, and she says that today is the culmination of a lot of hard work and determination to play at the next level.
Independence really just felt like home. Like the moment that we, the coach and I contacted, and then I visited their school and we had our first conversation in person. She just felt like a coach that I've always wanted, and we just had a lot of similarities in our programs, and I just loved her instantly when we started talking.
Back to the Pitt State women. Tough loss tonight. Nothing for them to hang their heads about, though. A historic season even to get this far, and the way they battled back in the third quarter, very impressive effort.
And they've done it before, down by 11 at halftime, but we've seen them come back from that deficit again and again and again. They almost pulled it off.
Almost.
Again. We'll be right back. KOIM's Hero Fund USA Telethon will take place next week. The fund is used to aid first responders in getting state-of-the-art personal protection equipment and other safety resources so they can return home to their families as safely as possible. KOIM's Lonnie Walton spoke with the Goodman Police Department that hopes to receive the grant this year.
We're actually wanting the grant for a drone.
James Morgan is a police officer in Goodman. He says drones can be used for better policing and a safer environment.
It would help us apprehend suspects, fleeing suspects, it would just overall help. We got a school here in the area, and we could drone the school for threats. So.
And that's not all. Police Chief Michael Atkins has his own reasons.
Just the other day we had a train collision, which would have benefited with the drone. We could have located it, been able to find out exactly where it was at.
Atkins says smaller towns can mean smaller resources. He says surrounding areas may also need help.
If we could get a drone, we can help other agencies with missing people. If somebody gets in a foot bail on a pursuit, we can launch a drone rather than sending people into the area, not knowing what's going on.
You're chasing somebody, you don't know if they have a weapon or not if you're on foot pursuit with them, but if they've got in a wooded area, it'll help you seek that person that's hiding in a low-lying area.
Morgan has faith in these drones as he's worked for them firsthand.
All the departments that I have worked for previously, we had drones, and they helped us tremendously for missing persons, for suspect apprehensions.
Reporting in Goodman, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
The Hero Fund Telethon will take place next Wednesday during our noon, 5, and 6 newscasts. Up next, Killer returns, Final Destinations, and a terrifying ritual. Hollywood has some thrills in store. A couple of horror movie first looks and a look at our favorite franchise characters returning to the Dexter universe. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has these stories and more in today's Hollywood Nation.
The devil will do whatever it takes to foil our plans.
Scary tales and a killer series are in today's Hollywood Nation. Dexter fans, get ready to welcome back a couple familiar faces to the ever-expanding franchise. According to Deadline, John Lithgow will reprise his role of the Trinity Killer, and Jimmy Smits will be back as Miguel Prado for Dexter Resurrection. Lithgow won an Emmy Award for his performance. Smits received an Emmy nomination for his. The Resurrection spin-off has been in production since January. Today's first looks are for the horror fans. There's a trailer for the latest frightening, fateful chapter in the Final Destination franchise, Bloodlines. The twisted tale follows a college student trying to track down someone who may be able to break the cycle of inevitable demise to save her family. Final Destination Bloodlines is in theaters May 16th.
We must be resolute.
Plus, a first-look teaser trailer has been released for The Ritual, which is based on the 1928 exorcism of Emma Schmidt. Al Pacino, Dan Stevens, Ashley Greene, and Abigail Cohen star. The film is in theaters June 6th. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a tortoise eating cantaloupe at the Fort Worth Zoo. Let's make it a great tomorrow.